City series cigars and Citrus 7s, black cement 3s, 4s, the hairs and bread 11s. No doubt that I'll be wearing some fire at any sighting. With these Doran Becker 5s, you can see me in any lighting. It's exciting, I'll be flexing to the coldest degree.
What's up, everybody? It's Sneakerhead M Checks. I got the 2025 Cool Grey 9s Retro scheduled to release Saturday, March 15th. So as usual, we're going to take a close detailed look at the shoe from all angles. I'm going to put these on and step around them so y'all can see they look on feet. I also have the last Cool Grey 9s Retro from 2012. So I'll be comparing the two throughout the video and we'll discuss all the differences. After that, I'm going to share my opinion on these. Then I'm going to talk about release predictions, reselling predictions, and all that stuff. So let's get right to it.
Patent leather toe, suede toe box, and upper. He's got the thicker laces. If you look over here at the 2012 pair, you can see it's definitely thinner. These also have a mesh tongue. That's new. The Jumpman is dunking towards the left on this left shoe, and if you look over here on the right shoe, it's dunking towards the right. That's how it was on the original 2002 pair, but the 2012 pair has both Jumpmen dunking towards the right. So here's the left shoe, it's dunking towards the right, and that's the right shoe back there. That's dunking towards the right. But if you look at these two left shoes next to each other, they're dunking opposite directions, but the other two, it's the same. Here's the inner side. Everything over here on this side looks pretty much the same. 23 on the back. Jumpman up here. Inside's all gray. Got the size tag on the back of the tongue. They seem a little bit more snug in here than usual. Insoles are also gray, just a darker shade, and have the white Jumpman logo on them. Translucent gray outsole. Looks so nice when it's nice and clean and fresh and new like this, and unyellowed. See, these over here used to look like that, you know, about 13 years ago, but y'all know how that goes. Here's the box they come in. Lighter gray lid, darker gray bottom. You know, matched the shoes. This may look kind of familiar to some of you because it's very similar to the box that the most recent Cool Grey 11s came in. You can see they're not the same exact shade of gray, but they got the same thing going on where they got the lighter top, the darker gray bottom. It's the same exact box structure and everything. Just, you know, like I said, different shades of gray. And the colors up here are different, obviously. You got the white text and red Jumpman here as opposed to the darker gray text and white Jumpman here. It's also a different feel to it. This Cool Grey 11s one is kind of like slick. See how it like shines? Cool Grey 9s one is a more paper-like top, you know what I mean? It doesn't have that slick finish to it, but white paper on the inside. And here's the box label. Air Jordan 9 Retro in medium gray, cool gray, and white. Here's a quick all-around view of the shoe. Alright, now let's see they look on feet.
If I fucked your bitch, she told you we just friends. Lied to you again, that was just pretend. If I fucked your bitch, I probably got head too. No disrespect towards you, but that bitch don't love you. If I fucked your bitch, it's because she let me. Don't be trying to press me, cause shit could get messy. If I fucked your bitch, we keeping it real low. You might not ever know.
So comparison to the last retro from 2012, the 2025 Cool Grey 9s have the thicker laces, kind of more like the original pair. A mesh tongue instead of the leather. The Jumpman man on the midsole on the 2025 pair is dunking towards the right on this right shoe and left on this left shoe. On the 2012 pair, they're both dunking towards the right. The inside here feels a little bit like thicker on the 2025 pair. I wouldn't say the shoes themselves fit any tighter, but this part in here is a little bit more like cushiony on these. 2025 pair has the size tag placed on the tongue as opposed to the inside like the 2012 pair does, and that's about it. I was actually really pleased with these until I realized that they changed the tongue on. It's not a deal breaker for me, but like, come on. Nobody asked for that. It's not helping the shoe in any way. I might be reaching with this, but I kind of feel like the mesh is almost like taken away from the cool gray vibe a little bit. Because mesh just has a more, you know, warm, cozy like feeling to it than leather does, you know? But they really ain't need to do this. Like, they just be changing shit for no reason. I know why, but it's still like, it's still gonna be frustrating every single time. Overall, these do look good though, so the mesh tongue might either grow on me or I may just end up getting used to it. I'm not really fucking with this now because it's not what I'm used to, but I'm gonna keep seeing them like this, and I like the overall shoe, and eventually I feel like I'm just gonna get used to seeing them like this. But either way, I definitely wish they would have did leather on these like they did the first two pairs. I am pleased to see that they did thicker laces in these because I always thought that these were too thin. I'm not gonna lie, I did get used to the thinner laces being in 9s over the years because they've been doing them like this since like 2010. So after 15, actually no, they've been doing them like this since 2008. I believe the Countdown Package 9s was the first 9s to get these little thinner laces. So after 17 years, you can't help but get used to it. But still, every time I see a pair of OGs or one of the 2002 pairs, it reminds me of how much better the thicker laces look in 9s to me. So I'm glad finally they did the laces better. But from the perspective of wanting these to look like the originals, it's like they fixed one thing but then fucked up another. Now I know a lot of y'all might be thinking, well, a lot of other 9s have mesh tongues, and you're right. The olive 9s, which I like, the charcoal 9s, which I love, the original 9s, which I even got tatted on me, all got mesh tongues. Those and plenty of other 9s I like. So that's why I said before it may grow on me for these, but it still looks weird to me now when I really look at it because cool gray 9s never came like this. But I can't say it looks bad necessarily. I mean, I can't say it looks better than the leather tongue either, but since I have no choice but to get used to it, I'll probably be a little bit more accepting of it later down the line. Cause sure, I could say I'm not fucking with the new pair because of the tongue and stick with my 2012 pair, but realistically, the amount of maintenance and upkeep that I would have to put into that just isn't worth it in my opinion for these. You know, not only would these eventually need a sole swap, I mean, I wore these a lot. I'm the original owner and I wore them, you know, pretty consistently over the years. And when you do that, the midsoles last longer. That's why people always say wear your shoes. So being that I wore these a lot, even though they're 13 years old, I'm sure they have years of life left in them. But still, at some point the midsole will give out and I will need a sole swap. But before I even get to that, I'm gonna have to deal with the paint on the midsole chipping or cracking. If we zoom in, we can see that's already happening a little bit here. So, you know, dealing with repaints and sole swaps, like, I'm really not trying to do all that. Not for a general release shoe that everybody's about to have. You know, if this was like a rare shoe that, you know, I wasn't about to see like that, then yes, I have no problem putting in the work for sole swaps. I don't know if a tongue swap is possible. I guess it probably is, but having to get donors, waiting for the job to be done, and more importantly, paying for it. I mean, the amount of money I'd be paying for a general release shoe that, like I said, everybody's about to get, it just doesn't make any sense. If I needed to do a sole swap on these, I would need a pair of these anyway. So it's just like, if I'm gonna get a pair of these, like, to sole swap these for and then pay somebody to do the job, like, that's why I'm saying I might as well rock with these. So, and also, it's a classic colorway that is gonna re-release every so often. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to go mad hard just to get the perfect pair when, being that they released these with the mesh tongue like this and everything else is good, you already know, like, that gives them room for the next retro to be perfect, or like these, almost perfect but with a different flaw. You know, they might give us the leather tongue back on the next retro but change something else up. You know, that's how they be doing it. The next retro they probably do right, and it may be the retro after that they'll do some funny shit. I don't know, I'm thinking too far ahead. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with these. Although a leather tongue on them would have been way better, it's not serious enough for me to pass on them because everything else on them is damn near like perfect. So them changing the tongue is really annoying, but I'm gonna get them. Overall, they look nice and clean, so I can't resist. Like I mentioned a few videos ago, Jordan releases this year have not been what they were like most of last year. Seems like they tightened up the stock a bit for Jordan retro releases this year, and that's made all the difference in the world. I know these aren't an OG colorway like the metallic 5s or the Flu Game 12s, but they are a classic colorway from that first line of retro 9s in 2002. And you see how the metallics and Flu Games releases were? It just was crazy. The aftermarket is crazy. It's just so crazy because a few months ago, Jordans were sitting in stores and people was talking about, oh, Jordans is over, Jordans is done. Now the same people is lining up, waiting hours, paying crazy amounts over retail just to get the same brand of shoes that they said was done or they thought was done like 2 months ago. But yeah, you seen how those releases went. We can assume that the stock on these will probably be pretty similar to the way those were. And yeah, I know how hard people go for a neutral colored shoe nowadays. I know it's usually black and white or black and gray, but gray and white goes with almost anything too. So I'm sure this release is going to be crazy. Like I said, similar to the Flu Games and metallic 5s releases they just had. Quick sellout everywhere and at least a $300 aftermarket value as soon as the sneakers app starts sending out those didn't get them notifications. At least 300. Easily like 320 to 350 depending on what size you wear. Yeah. Safe to say we're back to that. Everybody complained when they made Jordans easy to get last year, so here we are again. Resellers will be able to make a nice little flip on these. Bigger men's size will be the most profitable, but even smaller men's size will have demand and plenty of room for profit on flipping them. Maybe even some GS sizes if you get some of the bigger ones like a 7 or a 6.5, depending on your clientele, but definitely all the men's sizes. So if you want these, I'm wishing you the best of luck in getting them in your size for retail. If this video was helpful and informal in any way, I really appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more early reviews like this or any other sneaker related content, please do us both a favor and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Once you're subscribed, make sure you tap that little bell icon next to the subscribe button and select all. That way when I put a new video out, you get notified and you won't miss out on anything. Thank you all for watching. Everybody please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you next time.